Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our lecturer, Dr. Passan, and my fellow friends. I am Asma Shuhada. Today, I would like to present my compost making. Before I start my compost making, let me tell what is a compost. Okay, what is compost? Compost is come from the organic composting that come from a natural process, which is part of the yard waste and the kitchen scrap is broken down. That ingredient with the right proportion will mix, and the bacteria, fungi and worm will produce the organic material that we call as a black gold. This precious organic matter will added to the soil, and it will improve their structure, fertility and also water holding capacity. Now I want to tell how does composting happen. Actually, the composting process needs a 4 plus 1 component to be happen. Firstly, it needs a carbon, nitrogen, moisture, oxygen and also microorganism. This element is very important for our compost. Okay, the right balance of ingredients with a lot of microorganisms to decompose carbon and nitrogen. So, plant life can further extract the nutrients and grow to the release oxygen back in the atmosphere. The more nutrient soil is, the most greenery will be thrive. Okay, let's start the stage of the composting. There are the three stages. Firstly, the initial organic decomposition. In the first stage, mesophilic organism will start to break down the material into the smaller pieces. So this stage will take about a couple of the day, and they will start increase the internal temperature of their pulp. Okay, how about stage 2? Actually, stage 2 is about complex organic breakdown. In this second stage, the temperature will become too warm, especially for a mesophile and also thermophilic microorganism. This higher temperature will lack the thermophiles efficient to break down the protein, fat and also the complex carbohydrate into the finer particles. Stage 2 usually span of several days to months, depend the condition with the compost pulse. Let's how about stage 3? Stage 3 is a breakdown. So the thermophilic microorganism always use to evaluate the supply of the material. So the temperature of the file start to the lower. So they will be allowing the mesophiles to resume their process again. So during this final step, mesophile will finish breaking their organic material by allowing it into the method, so it will be compost usable. So for the materials is the compost pass. Okay, this is my green waste material, come from vegetables, eggshell and tea bags. From the brown waste that I use is newspaper, soil and also dry leaf. I want to share the carbon nitrogen ratio of compost preparation. Okay, inside my compost, the material that I use is fruit waste, newsprint, leaf compact wet, and food waste. So it will show that leaf compact wet is the highest amount that I use, and the part a total of carbon nitrogen ratio of my compost is 27 ratio of 1. Aim for the total carbon nitrogen ratio is until 2025 to 30 is a good for a compost mix. Method of composting. The method that I use for my compost is using a aerobic composting. So my compost is usually under aerobic composting process, which is I open the styrofoam box of my compost. So from that, the oxygen will present, so it will encourage the bacteria to grow and also break down the material. As we know that aerobic composting, we need a green and also brown material to break down. What is the mean of green and the brown material? Green is high in nitrogen and it comes from a kitchen waste or a kitchen scrap such as like from fruit, vegetables, coffee ground or tea bags. While for the browns is high in the carbon like a leaf, untreated wood chips, grass clipping, dry leaves. So the materials will eat up and will killing the weed seed and it will breaking down the material quickly. So this is a timeline of my compost. So I start my compost on the 6th November 2020. It shows that my compost is ready to be composed. Okay, this my compost after 1 month. On 8 December 2020, I have been checked the compost. It shown that the compost is slowly decompose all the green materials. And but for brown material, especially dry leaf, are not completely dry to decompose. This compost also no trace of food smell, and it has a starting to earthy smell. These are my current of compost piles. As you can see, this. So from the compost have a earthy smell, and also the color turns to the dark. And the compost is slowly to decompose all the green and brown materials. So I think my compost is ready to be used. Okay, I have test on the effectiveness of my compost for the left celery. As we know in Malay is daun soup. I have been put the compost and wait after 1 week, so there is a result. Surprisingly, the compost is very effective to the leaf celery. As you can see, the leaf celery is can grow up well. I want to test on the effectiveness of my compost. So I grow up the leaf celery by using a 2 part of salt and added 2 tablespoons of my compost. From that, the observation of the leaf celery grow after 10 days that I start 17 until 27. So their physical characteristics shown that the leaf of the leaf celery is not falling down and not wilted. The color of the leaves of celery is the same and not to turn the dull color. While for their height of leaf celery actually a little bit increase compare before I put the compost. I think my compost is very effective, especially leaf celery. So it's a good job for me to produce the compost. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for lending your ears. Okay, that's all. Bye.